is worse than the SARS outbreak. We now have more than 28,000 confirmed cases. SARS had infected a little more than 8,000 people. This is more than 3 times the number. 565 people have died. Now, this page says that more than 24,000 people have died from the coronavirus, which implies that China is hiding the real numbers and downplaying the extent of the outbreak, especially at home. One report claims that the website only flashed the numbers briefly. Another says that journalists, in an act of defiance, just dumped the real numbers. China has filed for a patent. Would you believe it? At this time, it wants to patent a potential cure. It wants exclusive rights to make the medicine that cures the coronavirus. China wants to patent a drug called Remdesivir. At the moment, this is an experimental drug. No one knows for sure if it will work against the coronavirus, but reports say that it is a potential candidate that could treat the coronavirus. This drug is not licensed. It is not approved anywhere, but China is reportedly conducting human trials on patients, and it has shown signs of being highly effective. Now, if this drug works, then China could use the patent to make and sell the cure and make a lot of money in the process. Microsoft founder Bill Gates has been warning about something like this for a while now. He's been talking about approaching pandemics for a few years now. He gave his first warning way back in 2015.
20,000 cases of coronavirus at the moment. Yet, because of these cases, 22 countries have introduced trade and/or travel restrictions. Here's the World Health Organization on that.
Such restrictions can have the effect of increasing fear and stigma with little public health benefit.
Taiwan has launched an extraordinary attack accusing the Chinese of failing to release up-to-date information. Have a listen.
We've seen the Chinese government rudely and unreasonably pressuring Taiwan on the international stage. They're putting political considerations over people's health and safety. This basically is extremely vile.
Another aspect of this story is the illegal wildlife trade in China. The Politburo Standing Committee, this is the top political leadership in China, has now come out to say it's necessary to strengthen market supervision, resolutely ban and severely crack down on illegal wildlife markets and trade. This is an issue because markets selling live animals are known to be a potential source of diseases that are new to humans. And the virus, which started in the city of Wuhan, well, there's speculation that it perhaps found its origin in this market in the city.
So major international conservation organizations, what they're saying is China needs to cash in on this opportunity, this situation, and turn this temporary ban into a permanent one. Because as you know, China is the biggest consumer of wildlife products, both legal and illegal. It's been under tremendous pressure for quite some time now. Back in 2003, when we had the SARS outbreak, the Chinese government did put a temporary ban back then as well. But then within a few months, this business, wildlife business, came back, and then it was business as usual.
Clear example of just how well China can control the narrative of this story.
Who knows? We don't know anything. We don't know what to believe because we just only know the thing that we do know about Chinese statistics is that they're always fake. It's just uncanny, it's eerie, it's amazing that these numbers are matching exactly with the University of Hong Kong study. And, you know, with a very slight variation. A doctor that was a whistleblower about this, he died yesterday, and he's 34 years old. So, I mean, if this was a completely harmless virus, that guy would still be alive. People in Taiwan are very convinced that the the mortality rate that they're giving is just ridiculously low. Strangely, the mortality rate number is uniform every single day. It has no variation, which is extremely suspicious. So first month in January, the mortality rate every single day was exactly 3.1% every day. This is ridiculous. It would be exactly precisely 3.1%. And then in January, they decided to, in February, they changed it to 2.1%. And it seems like the government's decided, okay, from now on, we're always going to make sure that the death rate is 2.1% or less. So today, the death rate was 2.0%. In Wuhan, the actual death rate is 4.9%. But then she listed the official death toll for today, and it was again the 2.1. percentage. So she mentioned that there was a 4.9% mortality rate, but then she gave numbers that were showing the standard 2.1. So she might have known what the real death rate was, but she couldn't actually release the real numbers of deaths.
It's important that we shoot down fake news and falsehoods that are only adding to the fears. First falsehood, the coronavirus is making people collapse on the streets. Some disturbing videos show people literally falling over. The World Health Organization has not confirmed it. City News. It says that China's top court is going to permit the killing of 20,000 coronavirus patients. To say this claim is utterly bogus, even by the Chinese regime standards, which are extremely low. Such a move, killing 20,000 people to control the disease, would amount to one of the biggest crimes against humanity. Falsehood number 3. Disown your pets. They could have possibly caught the virus. At present, there is no evidence that pets such as dogs or cats can be infected with the virus. Also, the risk is lower for pets to get the coronavirus from humans. It's always a good idea to wash your hands after contact and keep distance if your pet is sick. There are some 211 fact-check reports about the virus online. They come in 15 languages. They cite credible sources. Do your bit and spread awareness.
In the video, Chen also describes as to how helpless the people are in the Chinese hospitals. His video also shows crowded hallways, patients lying in hallways, and a dire lack of supplies. The Chen's video also talks about the 8 so-called rumor mongers who were punished by the Wuhan police for spreading what at that time was described as alleged false information and alarm about this possible outbreak. This was initially in the midway days of December. The videos have managed to draw traction on Chinese social media, even though YouTube has been blocked in China. Meanwhile, one of his close friends has posted a video message of Chen's mother on his Twitter page saying that her son has disappeared. His mother said that authorities had told her that he was detained in the name of quarantine. When she asked them about the details of his whereabouts, they've declined to give any information about him. His close friends have also added that Chen had left them his login details to the platform in case he was taken in by the authorities. Now, this is not the first time that Chen has been silenced by the authorities. In the month of August, he visited Hong Kong to report on the pro-democracy protests that had taken over in the region. In his broadcast on Weibo, he challenged China's official narrative that the protesters were actually rioters and separatists. The Chen trip ended suddenly after he was being called back to Beijing by mainland authorities. The first Li's death and now Chen's arrest. This, of course, comes as a direct blow to China's ruling party and Xi Jinping, as the people are now calling out the country's way of censoring crucial information amidst this outbreak and about this outbreak.
There is now expert consensus on this. China did try to cover up the extent of the crisis. A report in the New England Journal of Medicine presents a smoking gun, conclusive evidence of a cover-up. This report says that healthcare workers were infected in early January. The coronavirus existed well before China admitted. Chinese politicians downplayed the challenge. Doctors who tried to raise an alarm were silenced. By then, millions of people had begun leaving cities for the Lunar New Year. Cases cropped up across China and eventually spread across the world. China's top anti-corruption body is sending a team to Wuhan. Why? What is the role of the anti-corruption department in a public health emergency? Silencing critics, that's what they do. This is about Dr. Li Wenliang, the whistleblower doctor who died last week. The anti-corruption team will be conducting a probe into his death. So first a cover-up and now a pretend investigation. It doesn't stop there. China is going after journalists. Dramatic moment when people in hazmat suits broke down his apartment door to take him into quarantine. It's not just the messengers who face the wrath of the state in China, it's the patients too. The government sees coronavirus patients as criminals, people who will face the death penalty if they deliberately infect others. This is the government saying. Facing death penalty for infecting others, it's as if they're human weapons. The government has unleashed a wave of harsh measures to target those who've been infected. Hebei province is offering $140 to those who report potential cases. They want local residents to report which citizen has been in Wuhan recently. Reports say residents are being locked up inside their own homes, boarded up. Those who try to protect their loved ones are being detained. China has ordered a draconian response to tackle the coronavirus outbreak. A virtual state of emergency prevails in that country, but it's not necessarily helping. This is a cruel and chaotic response. Untrained doctors, military guards, homes turned into lockups, neighbors reporting on you, and the government punishing you rather than treating you for this deadly disease. The coronavirus has unveiled China's ugliest face.